sports break. You can catch me here most Thursdays, talking junk, spit facts. Let's get started. So really quickly, because I feel like this week we have bigger fish to fry, but March Madness, right in the midst of it, it seemed to like fly by. I don't really know what happened over the weekend. I mean, I do, but it was a lot. I said at the end of last week's episode, I'm calling 2 upsets. More than 2, way more than 2. But basically, a quick rundown. There are only 3 number 1 seeds left in the Sweet 16. And I have no idea what's going to happen. I just have no idea. It has been very interesting basketball. I maybe biasly living here in the good old North Carolina of the Linas, didn't want UNC to lose. I didn't really care if they won, but I would have been fine either way, right? But they pulled the upset over number 1 Baylor, so here we are. 3 number 1 seeds left, like I said. So Sweet 16 is, depending on what time you're actually watching this, is going to tip off at some point early Thursday afternoon, and then we'll continue on through the weekend. So here are my picks, if you will. And again, the season, guys, I'm writing stuff down so I can come back to it. So here are my predictions of who's going into the Elite 8. So we have Gonzaga, Duke. I think UNC is going to pull another upset. Purdue, Arizona, Villanova, Kansas, and then I actually think Iowa State is going to pull the upset. So we'll talk about this next week, see what happens. A little razzle-dazzle. I know your brackets are all jacked up. It's fine. Just enjoy the ride. Just enjoy the ride, folks, okay? Second, very quickly, this isn't my normal t-shirt, but I felt like I just needed to pull out my Ken Griffey Jr. jersey because apparently he is one of the highest paid Reds players this season. And considering Ken Griffey Jr. hasn't played baseball in the last 12 years, I had to dive a little deeper into this. And what I found out is that the Major League Baseball is paying out these contracts with afterpay. So not really, but so really what's happening is Ken Griffey Jr.'s contract, if you will, tells him or gives him $3.6 million annually until 2024. $3 million doesn't really sound like a lot, right? That sounds like chump change, especially when you have players out here making like $16 million a year, so on and so forth. But again, I say, Ken Griffey Jr. has not played baseball since 2010. So as I continue to do a little bit of research on this and their whole Klarna situation, I have also learned that Bobby Bonilla, who has not played baseball since 2001, is guaranteed, let me make sure I have this correct, $1.2 million annually until the year of our good Lord, 2035. In 2035, I will be like 40-ish. And something like that, and he'll still be collecting $1.2 million a year, and you don't have to do nothing. He doesn't have to do anything. Who do I need to call? I need to go play baseball. Who do we need to talk to about this? I don't understand. Now again, $1.2 million, $3.6 million, chump change in consideration to what some of these other players are getting. I just want to know whose decision it was to say, hey, let's just extend this over, like 15 easy payments of $1 million 20 years from now. The question maybe is, did they not have the money when they signed the contract? Or are you being cheap? Like, is your financial advisor the dad from Everybody Hates Chris? I have questions, qualms, and concerns. So if somebody knows, you let me know. But I just thought that was interesting. And then also, I just really wanted an excuse to wear this jersey because it's my favorite jersey at the moment. So there we are. Now on to the big news. I'm going to attempt to choose my words carefully because I know how you girls like to tussle. So Lia Thomas is now the first trans athlete ever to win a Division I championship. So, again, as always, if you're living under a rock, Lia Thompson is a trans woman that is a swimmer who won a championship, came in first, and now there is all of this hullabaloo about transgender athletes, specifically biological males who have transitioned to become a woman. And to that I say, there are a lot of things. There's a lot of nuances here. What I find the most irritating is probably the best word, is that somehow down the line, somebody decided that having testosterone made you a better athlete. And that, my friends, I will say, is just simply incorrect. Because, listen, I have not seriously touched a basketball in probably like 12 years, right? And I know that there are men on this planet that could not, just strictly couldn't beat me. That's just a thing. There are men in this world that could not hold a candle to people like Candace Parker, Lisa Leslie, Sue Bird, so I want you guys, you people, everyone, y'all, to get rid of this notion that having testosterone in your body just up and makes you a better athlete off GP. That is wrong. So that's the first point. The second point is, just because somebody, actually, let me pause before I even say that. There's this saying that I heard a lot when I was growing up, that you can't teach tall, right? So just because somebody is tall does not necessarily mean they're good at basketball or volleyball or any other sport that is better played by somebody that is tall, or taller people are more successful. You can't teach that. That is just something that you are. You just are tall, or you just are not. That's just it. So like up until I was like 13, I was pretty tall. I'm not short now, but like when I turned 13-ish, I stopped growing and everybody else started growing. So then I became average and everybody else became tall, right? But you can't teach that. That's just something in your dunna, okay? I know it's not dunna. It was a joke. Laugh. So you can't teach tall, right? You can train somebody to become faster, but there are some people who are just fast. Also, like people like Sha'Carri Richardson, like she's fast, right? She's also a woman. Usain Bolt is fast. He happens to be a man. So here's the point. Just because somebody is tall or has long arms or long legs, or in the silly debates I've heard, maybe a larger lung capacity, because biologically they were one thing and then transitioned into something else, does not make them a more superior athlete. That's not what we're you guys are trying to be so woke that I actually need you to take a nap. So it's just, I'm a little frustrated about this, I'm not gonna lie, because I have seen the most asinine things that I have ever seen in my 30 years on Beyonce's internet. Just because Lia has longer arms than some biological women, just because, again, this whole thing with the lung capacity is the crockiest of the crock I have ever heard. Also, I feel like there's a thing that is escaping most people, and that thing is that when you are a transitioning athlete, there are things that you need to do. So in this particular case, trans women athletes that were biologically born male and have then such transitioned into women have to have a certain amount of, I believe you say the phrase, testosterone reducing things that need to happen over a particular course of time. So what that means for those in the back is that Lia did not transition into a woman on Tuesday and then win a championship on Friday. there were things that needed to happen that would even allow them to say Lia is allowed to compete. Also, in that regard, if the NCAA and the schools had no issue with Lia competing to begin with, why are we causing a stink because she won? I have question, qualms, and concerns because there didn't seem to be any problem about this when she jumped into the pool. It was that she made it to the finish line first, and now, it's just clutch the pearls. God forbid that this person, this woman, decided that she did not want to be what she was biologically assigned and that wanted to transition and continue to actively swim, and that's okay. But now she's out here winning. Well, by golly gee, that's now wrong. If it was such a big deal, there should have been something preventing her from being able to swim in the first place. If she would have lost, y'all wouldn't even know who this person was. You wouldn't know who she was. And the unmitigated gall, the god dang audacity, in my opinion, of Caitlyn Jenner to be out here talking cash. Look here, Caitlyn. Let me tell you something. When you were transitioning, it was a thing, and of course there were mockeries that were made, and everyone was not as supportive as you probably wanted them to be. But for you to stand up and say that the woke world is trying to make a mockery of sports and like there's some sort of chicanery happening, but you wanted us to be woke when you were transitioning and be accepting of, I feel like of all of the people, you should have the most empathy for this and the situation that comes with it. Now I understand that Caitlyn Jenner stopped playing tennis by the time she becomes Caitlyn. I got that. But it's like, the way that I look at it is, one time when I was pregnant with one of these kids, I was working. I had worked a retail job, and I was having a lot. I was tired, okay? Just flat out. I was tired. My ankles were swollen. I was swollen. I was pregnant, right? And the store manager at this same job, also pregnant, and she was fussing at me about something. I don't even remember what it was, but she was fussing at me because I wasn't doing something, and she's going off and doing on and carrying on. And I had to look at her and be like, this thing that we're going through at the same time, don't you feel like this? You should have empathy for me because I'm going through the same thing that you're going through. Now, again, having a baby, being pregnant, and working is not quite the same thing. I got that. But the point of it is for somebody, Caitlyn Jenner, to be going or have been through this same type of thing as far as transitioning and being a person transitioning in this woke world, if you will, you should have empathy for Lia. You just should. I don't understand, and I'm not going to lie, that pissed me off to no end when I saw that article. But back to the topic at hand. There are things that needed to happen from an NCAA perspective that would allow Lia to compete at this level with other women. That happened. I can't say for sure that it was completely finished. The jury's kind of out on that one. But again, I say, Lia did not transition from a woman on Tuesday, from a man to a woman on Tuesday, and then compete on Friday. So there's just a lot of things behind the scene that I feel like a lot of people are ignorant to, and that we should probably just chill out. It's just chill out. And then I raise a question. If it were the other way, if it were a biological woman that transitioned to be a trans man and then went and played football and won the Super Bowl, are y'all going to be like, oh my God, are we going to celebrate that? Or is it going to be a thing? Are we going to say that person should not have the access to Super Bowl rings and victories and so on and such because they used to be a woman? Y'all, y'all are so woke. I just need you to take a nap. I just need you to take a nap. And my third point in all of this is I need y'all to stop acting like y'all been caring about women's sports all this time, because the lie detector test determines that was a lie. Y'all have not gone up for women's sports like this in the history of everdom. So why, pray tell, are y'all going up for this one thing to the point where DeSantos, or whatever his name is like, oh, well, we actually aren't even going to acknowledge Lia. We're going to give it to the second runner-up, to the second place girl, because she came out of the womb a woman. When have you ever cared about this? When have y'all ever cared so much about women's sports? I'll tell you when. Never. Not once. So I just, pick your battles, okay? Pick your battles. And when you decide that is the hill that you are going to die on, you should probably go back to previous history and timelines and determine that if you were supportive all the way up to this point. Because if this is the first time that you're hopping on the women's athlete train and support for women athletes, I would advise you to go back to the USA soccer team. I would also advise you to go back to the WNBA and help me understand why these women are being paid a fraction of what their male counterparts are being paid. I would also advise you to look at Brittany Griner, who is sitting in a Russian prison still because she had to go to another country to play basketball because the sport in this state does not pay her enough to do what she needs to do and support her life and her family. So she had to go somewhere else and do it in the off season. So again, this is the hill that you are going to die on. I need you to make sure that all of the bodies that you climbed up to get to said hill have that same sentiment. If not, you should go back to the bottom. And that is it. That is it for me, guys. It's been a tough week, but it's okay. We're going to get through it. As we move through COVID protocols and start to get away from restrictions, I hope that you and your families remain safe. I hope that you have hand sanitizer and Lysol on deck. And I hope that you guys are washing your hands. And I hope that you guys will watch the Sweet 16. Watch all of the things, guys. Just watch all of the things. There's lots of things that I'm excited about outside of just the actual basketball aspect of it. Yeah, I'll just leave it at that. So no sweet spot this week, guys. Just have a wonderful rest of your week. You will catch me here next Thursday.
Well, they do that, cause we do that though. I see you talking, so we gon' take it though. And yeah, talking cheap, so don't do that though. My click 100 deep.
This is Tyron
and Nicole with your weekly RETV news break. Each Thursday at 12 noon Eastern, we'll come to you with the latest news, trends, and more with a positive spin.
We know there's a lot of positive news that doesn't get reported, but we want to give you the opportunity to share your story here on RETV. If you have a positive news story you want us to share, you can submit your story to news@re-tv.net.
Don't forget to subscribe to the Relationship Entertainment Television YouTube channel. Download the new RETV Live app on your mobile device and follow Relationship Entertainment Television on your favorite social media platform.
Don't forget, make sure you tune into the RETV News Break each Thursday at 12 p.m. Eastern. Until then, be blessed and be great.
Growing up in the church, we saw a lot. Things that people refuse to talk about. the elephants in the room: mental illness, sexual abuse, broken families, domestic violence, and so much more. The Big E, the Elephant in the Room, is a show that sheds light on these topics. We're here to speak about the unspeakable.
Hey, it's your girl Tia Robertson. I'm the host of Entrepreneur Insider. Right here on RETV every Thursday at 6 p.m. Eastern for entrepreneurs and news that you need to know about. See you there.
Welcome to What's Going On? My name is Demita Joe. Each Wednesday, you can find me here at 3 p.m. I'll be over here discussing different things that are going on and try to bring you a boost of positivity for your week, because we all need this. We're going to share some feel-good stories. We might find a hometown hero. We may take a look at some trending topic. And sometimes we might even find a lesson in a not-so-warm and fuzzy story if we can. I'm Demita Joe, and I'll see you guys on the next episode right here on What's Going On?